What's going on, everybody? It is Brendan here. We're headed up to the Goodwill outlet. I know it's been a while, but there's something funny going on, and I want to see how you would react to it. They're sending in teams now. This was a team of 5 people that were there to get all of the shoes before you and I could get to it. I want to know how you would react to that, or how your locations are when something like this happens, if it is happening at all, because it is going on at the location here in Columbus. Let's see what happened. So last year, right around this time, it was actually the 3rd price increase at this location. It was either last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year. So we're going to check just to make sure they're not trying to pull a fast one on us. It's usually $1.99 a pound. Books are 59 cents a pound. It looks like they are staying put right now. We still got a lot of year to go, but we're good for now. Anyway, this shoe bin is not fresh. This is like the picked over stuff from the night before. But I'm going to take these Tory Burch. I think these are Carnell wedges. Yes, they've got some wear. So no, I can't be asking $50, $60, $70 for these, but they are certainly still sellable. So I'm going to grab those. I might just price them at $20. I couldn't find this other Nike. It was a nice shoe. Ended up tossing that back, but those Tory Burch wedges are definitely wearable. I might have to do maybe a little bit of cleaning them up. On the backs, they looked like they were maybe a little bit on the rough side, and we had some heel wear, but I'm still, whatever. I'll price those bad boys at $20 and move on. I don't typically like to target a buyer like that who wants like a luxury item for a much lower price, and so we get into a situation where I'm kind of attracting a buyer that might be a little bit of a problem. Sometimes I have problems or issues with buyers in those price ranges for luxury items. So whatever, it is what it is. We'll get those sold, move on. Next item here, Patagonia. Funny thing about this one here, it's inside out. So, but it's still a better sweater. It's a half zip. It's like gray striped. Not every single item, based on what I have learned about this one, is a great or an easy sale for Patagonia. And so we're moving into summer. I'm still going to pick this up, but striped, just based on the research that I was doing, is not a very good seller. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, there's 15, 20 of these listed similar, and only one has sold in the last 90 days. I even went back into Terapeak to see if I could find maybe a larger sample size, a larger sold pool, and I really could not. So normally when I find better sweaters for Patagonia, they like fly off the shelves at $50, and that's year round, and the velocity will decrease in the summer a little bit, but it's always a pickup for me. This one here, I'm going to have to probably list in the $30 range, take really good pictures, maybe throw a couple of additional keywords to attract like a different kind of buyer to that listing. But I was very surprised to see that the striped Patagonia better sweaters are not good sellers. And that's just based on the experience or the research that I did on eBay, in the eBay app. Other platforms might tell a different story, but I don't sell on the other platforms. I stick to this one, and we're going to move on to the next thing. Teddy Fresh here. It's a very colorful brand here. And this was a really heavy hoodie. Can we get a size check there? Okay, so it's a medium. Color blocked with the yellow hood, the pink's arm on one side, it's green on the other. Very out there, very flamboyant, but also very well made. I've seen these sell in like the $30, $35 range, so I'll probably end up sending that off at $35. It'll sell between $29 and $35. I didn't see any that's sold in maybe the $50 range pre-owned. And one of the things I noticed, and one of the things I suggest you do too when you're sorting your solds, is eliminate the auctions, because auctions usually, in most cases, always bring a much lower price. So when I'm running comparables, I completely eliminate auction and only sort by it now, because that's where you're going to get the higher prices in most cases. So I'd seen that hoodie sell at auction for like $10, $15, but that's not a sold comparable that I'm going to use, because I'm going after a different buyer. And I think 35 is really good for that one. So we'll keep moving on. Lots of Izod, lots of Old Navy, Lots of Gap. I mean, that's basically what keeps these places in business, if you ask me. It's like every other item is like an Old Navy or a Gap item. So we're moving over to the shoes. Now, there was a team of about 5 people. They all came in together. It was funny because they tried to cut the line, and luckily the gentleman that was waiting at the door made them wait till everybody else was in, but they came in and scooped up every single pair of shoes here. So you had to be really, really quick. I like these Florsheims. They're a little bit heavy, these Chelsea boots here. I passed on them because I really didn't like the comparables, although it seems like a well-made shoe. And in Florsheim, I pass up a lot of, but those were definitely worth a second look. Just too heavy and not enough good sales. The Hey Dudes here, for me, these are no-brainer. Hey Dudes are a real popular style right now of shoe. These are Waynes. They were charcoal, so they're like a light gray, but they're also almost like a high top knit. I'm going to check the soles. Soles are in good condition. Easy, I'm going to say $25 to $30 for these, and no surprises. The uppers look good, but yeah, you have to really dig deep and dig fast when the teams are here. One of the things I think, if you run into a situation where you have a group of people conspiring to find one specific item, right? And I think these guys came away at the end of the day with like maybe 200 or 300 pairs between all of them, is check with the management staff, because I think in some locations you are not allowed to team all together, and maybe some they just don't police at all. Let me know if that's like that where you shop in your outlets. Do you have teams of people showing up and grabbing every single thing they can and then looking them up later? I passed up on those Converse. I thought they might be vintage. Or do you have a staff that says, absolutely not, you guys are not allowed to do this, and we'll toss you if we find out that you are doing that? Let me know, because it doesn't look like it was being policed, at least the day that I recorded this footage. Air Force Ones there, no good. But yeah, they came away with an absolute ton of shoes, so you really had to move quick. I like the two, or at least the Hey Dudes that I did find there, so I'll run with those. There might have been another couple pairs that I didn't get on camera, but next thing I'm going to grab is these Lululemons. These are in pretty good shape. I think these are Aligns. I'll put the comparables up on the screen. Very long, and I think they're I want to say they're a size 8. They're either a size 4 or a size 8. I can't remember because I went to a store after this and found another pair of Lululemon. So what do we have here? Okay, so we have a size 8. It looks like these are pre-2017s. I haven't Google Lensed the waist yet to see exactly what I'm dealing with, but they were very clean. Sometimes you have to check the crotch, check the pilling, check the stretching of Lululemon. Some of it's very high quality, some of it is very low quality. Those felt and looked great, so I'm going to bring those home, and I'm going to say $25, maybe $20, but I have some really good finds despite some of the teamwork that was going on here at the bins this day. So bags came out, and this is another area that gets like super, super competitive. I found a really cool Cleveland Indians hat here. The reason I like this, and it looks like there's just a little bit of fuzz or dust on the top of it, is that this was made for women especially. And so you've got Chief Wahoo not being made anymore. It's camo, and it's a hat that was designed for females. So I like all of those things because you really just can't get any good Cleveland Indians gear lately, and we are in baseball season, so I expect that hat to sell really quickly. I'm going to say between $15 and $25, unless my deep dive sold comparable research tells a different story. But right there, I think that's my wheelhouse for that hat. It'll cost me maybe 50 cents. I kind of stayed away from the hard goods. The hard goods in this location for the last month or so has been lacking, if you ask me. And I think the overall quality of a lot of the items has gone down considerably. I don't know what's going on in the back, but it's been a rough month here at this location. Champion reverse weave. Let's talk about this really quickly. I am pumping the brakes on a lot of it, but if you look at Champion reverse weave Ohio State, at least you look at the asking prices of some of these items, they are extremely high. Now, I don't think that I've got a vintage item here, but nice embroidery on the front. It's in excellent condition. It's a size small. I think really for me, for Champion reverse weave, even Ohio State, I'm going to be aggressive and let's say between $30 and $40, but asking prices in the $300-400s for some of the Ohio State vintage, especially with some of the script writing, some of that old school font that you see on a lot of the Ohio State Champion garments. Big asking prices, but the solds are not really in line. So there's like this big gap of the actual sold prices for Ohio State Champion gear relative to what the asking prices are, what the solds are compared to the asking prices. So it's going to thin out here a little bit. I think the team finally took off. I didn't stay for another shoot rotation. I thought this shirt was going to make me like, $10 million. It checked off all the boxes. It looked vintage. It's John Galt, but I don't believe this is an actual vintage shirt, even though the stamp on the bottom says 1984. And it really doesn't matter because the comparables were not that great. I mean, I saw one for $10, maybe another one for $15, and a lot of active listings. So I'm going to leave that behind, but I always grab Orange Theory Hell Week tank tops and shirts because they always sell for me. Again, not a huge dollar amount, $15, $20, maybe $25. And I think Orange Theory's Hell Week comes in around October, so I expect it to sell around that time. That's when the majority of my Orange Theory Hell Week stuff does sell, because I think that's when that takes place. But I'm going to grab that. I passed up on this one here. It was a really nice, I forget what the brand was, but it was nice, and I couldn't find good sold comparables. That garment may have been better on a place like Etsy if it was older, or Poshmark, but I left it behind, and I grabbed this instead. So this is a very nice, this here, Air Force Landing Leathers, 100% leather jacket, large size, in great condition. It's funny, for as much of the stuff that comes out of these places that's in bad condition, there's so much that comes out basically pristine if we're talking about like as clean as something can be pre-owned. This jacket's a great example. Not a speck of anything on that leather. It's in great condition. It has no scent to it whatsoever. Sometimes you do have to check that because you'll smell smoke. Nothing like that. Very, very clean. I think for that one I can get probably between $50 to $70. And then this one here, I looked up the RN on that jacket, and it was not a respectable brand, and the solds were not good. But it is a nice, like, heavier suede vintage jacket, right? I mean, again, maybe this has its place on a place like Etsy or Poshmark, but I don't cross list. I don't use other platforms. To me, it's a complete waste of time, and I can elaborate as to why that is in a future video. I'm not going to get into it now, but I left this behind. Maybe somebody else grabbed that. The other jacket's going to serve me well. Again, $50 to $70 for that. I will take that all day long, and we'll just look to see if we can't squeeze anything else out of this jacket bin here before we take off. But I'm definitely satisfied with all the things that I found. The Hey Dudes will be great, Lululemon, and you guys know what it is. Patagonia, once again, coming out of the Goodwill outlet. All those items cost me $11, and my total listed value for everything you saw me source in that video comes to $265, so it was not a bad haul. But I want to know, are they allowing teaming in your location? Let me know in the comments. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the One Man Show. You know what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. July 1st, Christmas in July. Do not miss it.